What's good, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Golden 83, and I am here to do the newest reading as part of my channel, um, EMP Power Me, okay? Empower Me, okay? Emphasis on the EMP, okay? Spiritually, okay? If you guys have been with me long enough, I am an empathic person, highly sensitive to spiritual energies, and I wanted to do something that was a reading that would be very uplifting, okay? And so, been sitting on this reading for a while, and figured it was time to bring it out. The universe said it was time, and to let the collective kind of, cultivate a little bit, um, which is kind of like perfect where it is for me. But definitely, if you've been on the channel, feel free to subscribe, and join the vibe. Okay. So because I've gotten all the right here and now readings done, I'm doing Gemini first, because Gemini, you guys came through for me 200, like over 200 views. So I truly do appreciate you guys. And so you guys are the first to receive the newest reading. Okay. So this one is for you guys. The deck that I am using is the Osho Zen Tarot. And I'll be pulling from the book a little bit on some of the, for some extra messages, okay? Remember, you guys, these are general messages, not personal. So take what resonates and pass the rest to the next, okay? I may have some difficulty getting these off of, and I probably should have used like maybe one of my silicone mats for this reading, only because the cardstock on these is kind of thin, and so it makes it a little bit hard to pick them up off of the table. So if you see me struggling, it's because the cardstock is a little bit thin, okay? So let's get into it, okay? I'm gonna pull 5 cards, okay, for your energy. And like I said, this is pretty much to help empower you spiritually. If you're finding yourself in a really tough space right now, or kind of listen to this reading almost as like a meditative sense, because we're trying to go into Zen, okay? So I'm shuffling 3, maybe one more time for Gemini to lock in your Zen, okay? If you like, you can kind of close your eyes right now and just imagine yourself in the happiest place that you could be, okay? It could be a meadow with a nice breeze kind of flowing across your face, a waterfall possibly, anything that comes to mind that brings you Zen before we begin the reading, okay? I'm going to cut the deck by 3 while you're sitting in your happy place. And hopefully it's nice and quiet around you, so that kind of helps as well. Okay, so like I said, 5 card pull, okay? 1 from the top. This is a question of where are you headed, okay? The second card from the top is are you focused, okay? 1 from the bottom, which is do you believe in yourself? In this very moment, do you believe in yourself? The second card from the bottom What should you release? What is it that you need to release, Gemini, that is not serving you? Whether it be a person, place, or thing. Okay? I'm now going to just shift the deck here and tap it. And we'll spread the deck out just a little bit. And I'm going to do one energetic pull from the middle. And there seems to be a card that's kind of attracting me to it. And I'm going to split here and then pick it from here. Okay. The spirit says no. Go under this one for number 5. Okay. How will it change you is number 5. And that is the last card that we will flip over. Okay. So we're going to go in the order in which we pulled. Okay. So we're going to start with card number 1, placement number 1. Where are you headed? And like I said, this card stock is quite thin, so bear with your girl, okay? And let me see if I can like use a little bit of friction here and use you guys to help me, okay? Because when I say this is super thin, I mean this is super thin, very, very thin, okay? You have courage, okay? Where are you headed? Courage. Very simplistic illustration, but still focused on the Zen part of it, okay? We have kind of like a daisy, almost, you know, again, growing like a weed in a way out of this concrete, but I feel like it's more than just concrete. It's like a wall, and it's cracked. It has imperfections, but this daisy is not only emanating yellow, which I'm automatically thinking solar plexus chakra. It also has like a red outline around it, which feels like it's emanating the ability to grow even more so, in the sense of there's one that's already kind of full, and then there's another one that's growing right up underneath it, that's new and almost like a baby. So I don't know whether or not, if maybe some of you may be headed into motherhood, or maybe considering motherhood more so or less and are just kind of nervous about it. Maybe you're actually planning a pregnancy, and the universe is saying for you to, again, zen, okay? Do not focus so much on the imperfections or failing at something. Have the courage to press forward, okay? You have had a very large support system, or as far as not maybe family, but maybe friends, more so or less. You've had some maybe examples around you, or are just going at, or you're going at it alone, but you're not, okay? You feel like you are, but you're not, okay? But have the courage to know that you can do it. If you didn't think you couldn't do it, Gemini, if you didn't think you couldn't do it, you wouldn't be planning it, okay? And someone obviously has enough faith in you, enough courage in you. Someone does, either above, also below. They may not tell you so, but you should know, okay? You should have that inner knowing, okay? Please have the courage to press forward, okay? Let's get into number 2. Are you focused? That one is easy for me to pick up because I can pull it to me. Okay. Now, are you focused? We have guilt here. Okay. Guilt. Why do you feel guilt as far as you're being focused? There's something buried here. There's this woman. It almost reminds me of, even though the number 8 is here, it kind of reminds me of the Nine of Swords in a way, because there's this woman who's grabbing her head, her eyes are closed, she's screaming. There's, kind of like these gray clouds and mountains, but there's also these hands that are kind of pulling at her. Okay. Something that has transpired in your life possibly has caused some form of guilt. um, I don't know if it has anything to do with maybe friends, possibly, um, that may have said that they feel a certain way, um, about what's going on in your life right now. Uh, I feel or hear the word feel enviness as being a part of it. This is clouds, the suit of clouds. We're going to go into the book for some hidden messages here, okay? This moment is here now, is forgotten when you start thinking in terms of achieving something. When the achieving mind arises, you lose contact with the paradise you are in. Thus the flowers at over the top, okay? This is one of the most liberating approaches. It liberates you right now. Forget all about sin and forget all about saintliness. Both are stupid. Both together have destroyed all joys of humanity. The sinner is feeling guilty, hence his joy is lost. How can you enjoy life if you are continuously feeling guilty? If you are continuously going to the church to confess that you've done this wrong and that wrong, and wrong and wrong and wrong, your whole life seems to be made of sins. How can you live joyously? It becomes impossible to delight in life. You become heavy loaded. Guilt sits on your chest like a rock. It crushes you. It does not allow you to dance. How can you dance? How can guilt dance? How can guilt sing? How can guilt love? How can guilt live? So the one who thinks he is doing something wrong is guilty, burdened, dead before death has already entered into the grave. Okay? So, very, very deep meaning attached to this. The only thing that I can think of is either feeling somewhat guilty in the sense of those around you, that if their life is not going as good as yours, that you kind of feel guilty, or someone is making you feel guilty about what you're pursuing. Okay? Like I said, either it's parenthood, it could be something else. Your career could be going well, or just family life in general. Let's say you just got married. Now you and your husband or wife are considering starting a family, um, or planning to start a family. Just having the talks about it, nothing has even started yet, but someone is making you feel guilty about it, and it could be by way of communication through another friend or mutual friend, um, that possibly comes down, down the line eventually. Okay, that for some reason is setting very clear in a way. It's a little shaky. Again, get in where you fit in, okay? Um, let's get to the third card. Do you believe in yourself? And we have the rebel, okay? We have the rebel here. We're definitely going to go in the book. Possibly. Spirit says no. It's something that's very easy. Now, if it's about do you believe in yourself, I feel this energy of a person who may have been very wild in the past. Maybe no one would have ever seen or dreamed of you, maybe not even yourself, considered, settling down, family life, or as the term goes, living the straight and narrow in a way. You've always been potentially in the past a rebel without a cause or something to that effect, okay? Another saying. However, we have almost like this, I want to say a deity of some sort, and there's like a phoenix. He's holding a torch. Um, and their hair is colored, wildly in multicolors. But there's also kind of this chain link, kind of like at the bottom of his feet. However, it doesn't feel like it's completely chained because it's broken. One of the links is broken, and it seems kind of loose around the foot, the one foot. Maybe you have what some considered an unorthodox love, if you will, that they don't understand. Um, Possibly same sex, um, for some. Or there's something going on, but I'm not going to dive too deep into it. But just a rebel without a cause, and now, even maybe it's hard for you to even believe in yourself that you're in this mature relationship. But that rebel is still there from time to time, but only in a fun way. Maybe some of your friends miss that about you, and find it hard to adjust to. Okay? Let's move on to number 4. What should you release? Okay? What should you release? Maybe the rebel is what you're slowly releasing, but we have postponement. Postponement. What should you release? Okay? So we have this woman here, and there's this border again. I feel solar plexus energy with this yellow kind of emanating from at least 3 cards. Okay? But there's this bordered frame where there's life. It feels like life in the middle, and then everything else on the outside of the picture is, black and white. Okay? So maybe there's something you want to postpone, or maybe you're thinking, or something is going to kind of interfere in a way from your plans of possibly, parenthood. Maybe it's something financial that needs to take place first before you can, which don't take that as a sign that you can't or that you shouldn't. Okay, it's called just being responsible, Gemini. Okay, taking the time to really assess your life and what it is that needs to happen first in order for you not to fall into any kind of mishaps or situations later on. But we're not going to go into the book. That seems to be a clear enough message from Spirit for you all. But, you know, you'll definitely be happy that you did postpone something. Again, just to avoid it later, okay? Lastly, let's get into this last card here. I'm going to use y'all's place card to see if that can help me pick it up. Okay. The last card is how will it change you? How will it change you? And Thunderbolt, which obviously feels like the Tower. Okay. How will it change you? Thunderbolt. All right. You can take a look at this imagery and see how it makes you feel. Nervousness or anxiety. But we want that to dissipate from you because this is Zen. Okay. This should not, deter you or scare you in any way. It's not meant to. However, it does resemble the Tower in the sense of things falling. However, within this imagery, there is a person sitting in Zen, almost reminiscent of maybe Buddha. But as you can see, they're in this pose of Zen. And although there are people that are, falling, there is this lightning. And I almost want to say on each side, it's like a wing. Like wings are on either side. And it looks like there's fire emanating from the base chakra and kind of emanating up from base to sacral to heart to throat. Okay. Again, as the title of this reading is Empower Me, I feel as though you're centering yourself in who you're about to become. Okay. That's what it feels like to me. But I'm going to lean this over on postponement just so that way I can pick it up easier. Because let's go into the book. Page 34. Okay. What meditation does slowly, a good shout of the master unexpectedly in the situation where the disciple was asking some questions, and the master jumps and shouts, or hits him, or throws him out of the door, or jumps over him. These methods were never known. It was purely the very creative genius of Ma Zu, and he made many people enlightened. Sometimes it looks so hilarious. He threw a man from the window from a 2-story house, and the man had come to ask on what to meditate. And Ma Zu not only threw him, he jumped after him, fell on him, sat on his chest, and he said, "Got it?" And the poor fellow said yes, because if you say no, he may beat you or do something else. It is enough his body is fractured, and Ma Zu, sitting on his chest, says, "Got it." And in fact, he got it because it was so sudden, out of the blue, he could never have conceived it. Say yes to the process by meeting it halfway. After the fire, the earth is replenished. After the storm, the air is clear. Try to watch the destruction with detachment, almost as if it were happening to somebody else. So while you may feel slightly disturbed at how things are transpiring around you, Gemini, meet it halfway because it's possibly something that needed to occur. Okay? And it is meant to center you, it is meant to align you. That is what it means to be Zen. Okay? Hopefully, this gave some insight for someone. It may not be for everyone. So do not try to make this fit for you right now if it does not fit for you. Again, this is for those who are looking for centering, alignment, enlightenment, or awakening. Okay? Not saying that everyone isn't meant for it. It's a time and place for everyone. Okay? Knowing when your time is knowing when your time is. I'm hearing Sun, Moon, Venus, and Gemini is probably going to help that collective, okay? But don't worry, I will have some other readings come out. Let's see how these go. Like I said, I'm pretty much going to go in the order in those who had the most views. And Gemini, you are the first to get the first EMP Power Me reading. So hopefully you liked. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I totally appreciate you guys for hanging with me on the first one. All right? Have a good one. Peace.